Biden administration's pause on federal student loan repayments will end in late August. It's part of the debt ceiling deal that President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy agreed to on Sunday. But the fate of the White House's student loan waiver program has been left to the Supreme Court. Now, despite the outcome, borrowers that owe more than $20,000 in federal loans will need to begin repayment this summer. To tell us more about what parents and students need to know, we're joined by Jennifer Finetti, the Director of Student Advocacy with Scholarship Owl. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so first off, can you tell us about some of the new rules on debt repayment?
Yes. So the way that it is set up is that 60 days after the court decision or 60 days after June 30th is the date that student loans will need to be repaid. So what that means is that whether or not the Biden administration's loan deal goes through with the Supreme Court, either way, loans will need to start being repaid for anyone who still owes money. So, for example, if the decision says that that student loans will be forgiven, then anyone who owes more than $10,000 will need to start repaying them. Or for Pell Grant recipients, that would be anyone who owes more than $20,000. But given the makeup of the Supreme Court, there's a good likelihood that that will not pass in any case. So that would mean anyone who owes any debt would need to start repaying as of 60 days after that decision.
Okay, so are there any financial options immediately available for undergrad students right now?
Yes, the most important thing that anyone can do is, first of all, to start applying for scholarships, start looking for jobs, things like that, so that you're ready for repayment. But as far as the actual practice of what you need to do, first you need to go onto the studentaid.gov website, make sure you know who your loan servicer is, because in many cases in the past few years, your loan may have been sold to another provider. And so if you go onto studentaid.gov and if you do have student loans, you'll be able to put in your information and find out who your loan servicer is, so you can start contacting that servicer and getting more details about what you owe. Also, you want to make sure that they have your latest contact information because, of course, many people have moved in the last few years. And so you really want to make sure they have your address and your phone number so that when repayment begins and when invoices are sent out, you'll be able to receive them.
You mentioned scholarships. That's obviously something that is very important when it comes to alternatives to student loans. Are there anything else out there that people should be looking for in terms of making sure that they have the money to pay for their tuition but don't want to have to repay back student loans?
Absolutely. The most important thing to do is to make the right decision about where to go to college. Now, for many students that were high school seniors this year, they already made their decision as of May 1st. Hopefully, students are prioritizing more affordable colleges to avoid taking out new loans, right? We don't want to take out new private loans, especially, but also if you can avoid new federal student loans, that's really a good way to go. Also, for those of you who are loan borrowers already, you can look at options for changing your payment plan, right? So the student loan system will have a default payment that you'll have to start paying, once student loan payments resume, but you can contact your loan servicer and check alternative payment options to see if there's something that's more palatable to you, depending on what you can afford.
Are there benefits to having private loans versus federal loans?
No, there's really no benefit to having a private loan. The thing is with federal student loans, they do get capped. So, you can take out up to $5,500 your freshman year of college, $6,500 your sophomore year, $7,500 your junior year, and $7,500 your senior year. And then when you're a grad student, there are different caps. But, for some students, they need more than what the federal student loan will allow them to take out. And those students often turn to private student loans, which I strongly advise doing, that you not do. What you need to do instead is choose a more affordable school and also look for a job so that you are working full-time during the summer and part-time during the school year, and apply for scholarships to make up any gaps. I've seen some recent ads on social media, which really kind of made me nervous for students out there that were literally saying, fund your gap with student loans. That is not a good way to go. You do not want to fund your gap with student loans. You want to fund it with money you have earned, whether that be through scholarships or from a job.
All right, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.